Hello, and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Thank you for joining me as we just head closer and closer to the All Star break. We are almost there. First up, let's check out the news. Alex Bregman is expected to be activated today. Reports say that David Hamilton will be optioned. The fallout of this move means that Marcelo Mayer, who's primarily been playing third base, is likely to get more regular reps at second base, but his playing time should not be affected as, once again, Bregman's going to take over everyday reps at third base. That's where Mayer's been playing, but he'll move over to second and get regular reps there. The Astros are set to promote Bryce Matthews amidst all the injuries on their major league roster. Matthews, their top prospect, hitting 283 with 10 home runs, 25 stolen bases in AAA. That comes with a 15% walk rate and a 30% strikeout rate. He's likely to play second base long term. So if he does well, maybe they move Altuve off permanently and make him more of an outfielder. Uh, Here's the thing. He whiffed a lot. He struck out a lot in AAA. He did walk a lot too. That 283, 10 home runs, it's a little bit misleading. He played in the PCL. I mention it all the time. PCL is a mirage. I was talking with one of my colleagues at Prospects Live, Will Thompson, and Will made a really good point. Bryce Matthews is hitting 212 with no home runs at home. And home for them is Sugarland, and that's a more pitcher friendly environment for the PCL. And Matthews struggled. Away from home in the more hitter friendly environments, Matthews was hitting 333 with all 10 of his home runs. That is a red flag for me. So if you're running to pick him up, I may I'm not doing it personally. I think I've been scared off enough. But he has been playing well. He is athletic, and things can happen. So, the best of luck to Bryce Matthews. Congratulations on the promotion. For fantasy, may be tough going, at least at first. We'll have to see how things shake out. Clark Schmidt will officially be undergoing Tommy John surgery. This news is not surprising, but it is official now, and he will be going under the knife and be out and through a good portion of next year. And this just marks a continued injury-filled career for Clark Schmidt. So hopefully he can recover, come back, and have some years of good health. Because when he's on the mound, he is good, but the injuries have been piling up so far in his career. Last bit of news to cover. There's been a trade. That's right. The trade deadline is coming up too. There's a lot of rumors flying around. There was a trade that actually happened. The Tampa Bay Rays traded a draft pick for reliever Brian Baker. It was the 37th overall draft pick, I believe. Reliever Brian Baker from the Orioles. A lot of people really excited about what Brian Baker can become with the Tampa Bay Rays pitching development. With the Orioles, he had a 32.5% strikeout rate. That's exciting when you think, hey, let's put him with one of the better pitching development systems that we have. He did debut with Tampa in yesterday's games. He gave up 3 runs. Nowhere to go but up, I guess. But certainly going to be interesting to see what he turns into. And of course, that Tampa Bay bullpen, always just super interesting. I mean, it's just what it is. Take a look at some of the hitter highlights. Not a whole lot of games to get into, but let's dive into it anyway. Gunnar Henderson went 4 for 6 in a doubleheader. He only started in one of the games. That game, he went 3 for 5 with a double. In the other game, he was a pinch hitter where he hit his 11th home run of the season. So a good set of games for Gunnar Henderson, despite only starting one of them. He had his slow start coming back from injury early in the year, but he does seem to have picked things up and righted the ship, as it were. Mason Wynn picked up a pair of doubles in the game yesterday. He had 5 hits, or he has 5 hits rather, over his last 2 games. That includes 3 doubles. Over his last 15 games, he's hitting 310 with a home run and 7 RBIs. Locked in at that shortstop position. Having a good stretch of games here over his last 15. Ha-Sung Kim with the Rays. Delayed start to the season with his injury. He's been back for just about 15 at bats. He hit his first home run of the season yesterday. As I mentioned, small 15 at bat sample. He's hitting 333 with a home run and a steal. He struck out 5 times and has not walked yet. Also for the Rays, Junior Caminero hit a home run. This makes bombs for him in back-to-back games. He had his massive hot streak, but he's in kind of a slow spell now, hitting 206 with 4 home runs over his last 15 games. Roman Anthony, baseball's top prospect, 1 for 4, stole a base yesterday, but reason that I'm bringing him up, over his last 15 games, he's hitting 350 with a home run and a steal, and I've been seeing some hard hit balls from him, so things might be coming around for Roman Anthony, and you love to see it, especially since he's got likely and has to be a mainstay in that lineup from now until for a while. Let's just say for a while. For the Mariners, Dominic Canzone, 3 for 4 with a double. And I'll tell you what, they were in search of an outfielder. Seems like they found one, at least for right now, especially with Victor Robles set to be out until September. Canzone is hitting 306 with 6 home runs in 85 at-bats this season, and that's mostly been in one stretch. He had 3 hitless at-bats where he struck out a couple times in April. But since then, he got called back up on June 9th, and he has been on an absolute tear. Once again, those season numbers: 306, 6 home runs through 85 at-bats, and that has been the production they were looking for. They looked for it with Leody Taveras, didn't quite get it. Well, they called Dominic Canzone back up, gave him another shot, and he is absolutely taking advantage of it. All right, guys. Stop me if you've heard this before. Please. Pete Crow Armstrong had a good day. He did some crazy stuff. Have you heard it before? I think you might have. I feel like I say it every single podcast, but that's where we're at. He's having a phenomenal year. He hit 2, that's right, 2 home runs. He added a double for good measure, because why wouldn't you? He's got 25 home runs on the year to go along with his 27 steals. This was the 5th time this season that he's hit 2 home runs in a game. I don't know what the league leader for that stat is, but he's got to be up there if he's not in the lead for it. 5 times. This is the first half of the year still. He's hit 2 home runs in a game 5 times, meaning those games account for 10 of his 25 home runs. Corbin Carroll went 1 for 4 with a stolen base. Since coming back from his injuries, hitting 192 with a double, a triple, a home run, and now a steal. He's played 6 games, to be fair. I'm not saying anything insane, just giving you an update. He's played 6 games since coming back, and all 5 of those hits that have him calculated to 192 since his return have come in the last 4 games. So he's on a nice 4-game hit streak where he's got 5 hits, including all of those extra base hits. And of course, the steal that he had in yesterday's game. Manny Machado goes 3 for 5, hitting a homer and a double off Eduardo Rodriguez. Machado now hitting 291 on the season with 16 home runs. And finally, for hitter Zach Neto, picks up his 14th home run and 18th double in a 3-hit effort. In a little over half the at-bats from last year, Neto was on pace to hit more home runs and steal more bases. To be exact, with my rough math estimates, he's on pace to hit 28 home runs as opposed to the 23 he had last year, and steal 32 bases as opposed to the 30 he had last year. And of course, a lot of this can be attributed to the fact that his average is up from 249 to 273 this year. So he had his delayed start, but Zach Neto having a good year. Taking a look at some of the pitching highlights from yesterday's games. David Peterson for the Mets goes 7 innings, strikes out 6 while surrendering 1 earned run. He's starting July with a 1.32 ERA with 10 strikeouts over 13 and two-thirds innings across 2 starts. He's given up 5 hits and 1 earned run in each of those starts. He also didn't walk anybody in the start yesterday. He walked 3 in the one before, but a couple of similar starts to start July. Miles Michaelis scattered 2 hits and a walk across 5 and two-thirds shutout innings with 6 strikeouts against the Nationals. After a 3.08 ERA in May, he posted a 6.58 ERA in June. Gave up 8 earned runs in the start before this one, so a nice bounce back for Miles Michaelis. Taj Bradley had a good game against the Red Sox. That makes 2 solid games in a row, something he has not done in a while. I've mentioned his pattern dating back to the start of June. This makes 2 solid starts in July. In this one against the Red Sox, he threw 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, walked 3 while striking out 5 and giving up 1 earned run. Brian Wu continues his great season for the Mariners. 7 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. For the Reds, Nick Lodolo threw 6 shutout innings, allowing just 3 hits while striking out 4 and walking 0. Over his last 7 games, Lodolo has thrown 37 innings with 37 strikeouts and just 8 walks with a 3.89 ERA. Colin Ray went 7 innings, surrendered 1 run, 5 strikeouts against the Twins. And finally, wrapping up our pitching, Patrick Corbin picks up the win and goes 5 innings while striking out 6, giving up 2 earned runs, bringing his season ERA to 4.15. And that was a look at news highlights, and we are going to take a quick timeout. When we return, we take a look at games coming up today, some pitching matchups. So there's only a couple left until that All-Star break. So see if we can sneak in a few extra fantasy points or bump ourselves up in the standings just a little bit before that happens. I appreciate you being here. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Thanks so much for being here. We've talked news, we've talked hitters, we've talked pitchers. Now, let's take a look at pitchers once more, but this time the ones that are pitching in the games coming up today. Edward Cabrera squaring off against Dean Kremer and the Orioles. Cabrera, over his last 7 games, has 37 strikeouts and 14 walks through 38 1/3 innings with a 1.88 ERA. So he's pulled a good matchup against the Orioles, and he has been solid lately. Chase Burns pitching against the Rockies, a good matchup for him. He's not in Coors, but he plays for the Reds, so that means he's going to be at Great American Ballpark. So I guess one step up from Coors. We'll have to see. Burns as a fly ball leaning pitcher, and that could be a bad thing, especially when you're playing in small parks. But he is playing against the Rockies. That is a good matchup for him, and certainly one that I would trust. Cody Senga is going to return against the Royals. The Mets pitcher posted a 1.47 ERA with 70 strikeouts in 73 innings before finding himself on the injured list. So he will make his return once again against the Royals. Gavin Williams, Jonathan Cannon going in the first game of what will be a doubleheader for the Guardians and White Sox. Have not seen the announced starters for the other 2 at the time of recording this, but they will play 2 games. So certainly good to know for your fantasy lineups. I know in my dynasty leagues, I always love to get those doubleheader games when I can. And finally, the game of the day. There's not much smoke or mirrors behind why I chose this one. It's the Pirates versus the Twins. Paul Skeens versus Joe Ryan. I mean, that's just going to be an epic showdown. If they both come with their stuff, high strikeouts, probably a quick pace. Try not to choose just the best 2 pitchers that are facing off, but had to in this one. Paul Skeens, Joe Ryan, 2 of my favorites to watch going against each other. Should be a good one. And with that, I appreciate you joining me once again. We'll have a full slate of games tomorrow. Make sure to check out pitcherlist.com. You can see our top 100 lists, hitters, pitchers, relievers, whatever you may need, as well as some other fantastic written content on that website. So make sure to check that out because new articles post daily. Until tomorrow, I will see you guys again. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.